Okay, happy Friday. We are joined today by the one, the only Dusty Breeding. I promised him a sweat fest, so I'm gonna deliver, and I hope all of you are excited to move and groove and get your sweat on with me for our Friday yoga. So I'm gonna move over to speaker view so I can at least see what you are seeing. And then let's begin on our backs. I'm already sweaty. It's so hot over in Malibu. It's crazy. So if you haven't already broken a sweat, then you will. Okay. Lie down on your back. Option to do a supported back bend. Option to skip that part and just start to connect with your breath. Start to connect with your mat, the earth beneath you, and just start to check in. An easy body check-in that I recommend that you try either today or in future practices is to start with a body scan. And so an easy way to do this is to start from the soles of your feet, and you can either just bring your awareness to that part of your body, or you can kind of start to mobilize it. And so I like to kind of wiggle my toes, point and flex, and then maybe you do three little wiggles, 3 little point flexes, and then move up to your ankles, a little roll of the ankles to the right, to the left, point flex the ankle. And then become aware of your calf muscles. What would it feel like to start to mobilize the calf muscles? What would it feel like to start to mobilize the knees? And as you just travel up the limbs through the various parts of your body, the joints, the muscles, take a moment to perhaps feel some gratitude for the fact that you can move your body, the fact that you are healthy, the fact that you have some time and some space to engage with a practice like this, whether it's a self-care practice. It is a self-care practice for everyone, but yoga can be different things for different people. For some people, it's an opportunity to get a really sweaty workout. For some people, it's an opportunity to take some mindful breaths, and these might perhaps be your first mindful breaths of the day. And so don't skip this part, all right? I've talked about this already, but just as a reminder, if you are able to make your space, your time and your space of your yoga practice a little bit unique, a little bit special, then I invite you to do that. I encourage you to do that. I mixed up a little essential oil spray that I'll be using on Dusty. This has lemon and a little like breathe mix, so eucalyptus, peppermint, kind of fresh. The longer this goes on, the more important it will be to implement practices and conscious, intentional choices that make this sustainable, not just survivable. And something as simple as using aromatherapy can really take this practice from mundane to special. So I encourage you to maybe explore doing that if you've never done it before. All right, so continue your body check-in here for a moment. Long, slow breaths. I'm just spraying you. Do you like that? Good. All right, so as you are breathing here, let's start to lengthen and discipline the breath here. So let's start by exhaling all the air out of the lungs through the nose or mouth. Just blow it all out. And then inhale through the nose, breathe into the belly for 4, 3, 2, 1. Out for 4, 3, 2, 1. In for 4, 3, 2, 1. Out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And just keep it going on your own time, on your own breath. Nice job. If you were able to take it all the way up to that 10 count, then that's pretty great lung capacity and breath control. And also, if you are able to extend your breath to a 10 count, that's 20 seconds for a round, and that's only 3 breaths per minute. That's a pretty low and slow breathing rate. And so that's the sort of thing, just a practice like that, where you lengthen your inhale and your exhale by 1 count every time, and see how long and how far you can go. And also just notice maybe when you start to panic, when it starts to get uncomfortable, maybe you can stay at that number, at that length for 4 or 5 breaths and get comfortable at that length of breath. And then you'll be surprised by how much farther you can take it the more you practice. All right, go ahead and hug both knees to the chest, gently roll side to side, massaging the muscles along the spine. Pick the tailbone off the earth, pick the shoulders and the head off the earth, and maybe try rolling up and down the length of the spine. We're gonna get moving here pretty quickly just to start to warm the body and get right into maybe some challenging postures and flows today. All right, in any way that it's comfortable for you, you can roll into tabletop. And let's take it through a few rounds of cat-cow. So as you inhale, lengthen the sternum forward, gaze goes up, release the belly toward the earth. And as you exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin to the chest, draw the forehead toward the tailbone. Inhale for the back bend, gaze goes up, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, round the spine, scooping out the belly, tuck the tailbone, feel the stretch in the low back. Inhale for the back bend. So take it through a few more full rounds here. And we talked about this on Wednesday, I think, and I want to continue to maybe explore this, is in cat-cow, you can just think of it as bending and flexing, or something that you might just explore mindfully today is think of your cat-cow as a wave, as a chain reaction up your spine. And the way you might try this is just start the movement with your tailbone. And so you start from a neutral spine and start by just tucking the tailbone under, and then tuck the lower ribs, the mid back, the upper back, then the chin last, and then release this into a arched back the opposite direction. So tuck the tailbone under first, the tailbone toward the sky, release the belly button, the low ribs, the mid back, the neck, and then the chin, and then the gaze comes up last. And so again, start from the tailbone into that rounded shape. And instead of all at once, think of it as a slow chain reaction. Can you move one vertebrae at a time, moving inch by inch up your spine, mindfully, slowly, getting the most complete cat-cow you've ever done in your life. Okay, come back to a neutral spine here. Now I want you to tuck the tailbones, not the tailbones, tuck the toes under and lift the knees off the earth just an inch. Okay, so hang out here and hover for a moment. And by the way, anytime you want to come out of this shape and lower the knees to the earth is totally okay with me. So you do you. But I want you to, just as a little challenge here, try to take it through a few rounds of cat-cow here with the knees hovering. And so still maintaining that tension where you're warming the quadriceps to keep the knees lift off the earth. Just notice how that changes the sensation. Maybe you're starting to shake a little bit through the midline. Take it through a few rounds of cat-cow here to the degree that you can, and also still stay with the breath. All right, come back to this quadrupedal position. The knees are still hovering an inch off the earth. Take an inhale and exhale, lower the knees to the earth. Take it back to child's pose for a moment. So reach the arms forward. The palms are on the earth. The forehead is on the mat. So this is just a reminder that in any yoga practice and also in a particularly challenging yoga practice, child's pose is always available to you. I'm not going to necessarily cue it too much today. But I also encourage you and invite you to choose when you take child's pose and make it kind of a little treat for yourself, right? Maybe it's the sort of thing that it's like, okay, I'm going to get through this flow and then I'm going to get a child's pose and I'm going to skip that flow. I'm going to skip the vinyasa and the downward facing dog and just take a child's pose, right? Choosing your rests rather than allowing your rests to choose you is part of the wisdom that we cultivate here on the mat. Okay, press the palms into the earth, curl the toes under, take an inhale. And on the exhale, take it back to downward facing dog. So pedal the feet right, left, press one heel, then the other into the earth. And while we're here in downward facing dog, really press the palms into the earth, straighten up the elbows, and soften the shoulders down and away from the ears. So you're drawing your sternum toward the feet here is the idea. Drawing the shoulder blades together behind the back. All right, let's take it up into a couple leg lifts. So inhale, lift the right leg, lead with the heel. Exhale, right leg back down. Inhale, lift the left leg, lead with the heel. Exhale, left leg back down. Back to the right side. Inhale, lift the right leg. This time, bend the knee. Try stacking the right hip on top of the left while you still press into your hands equally. Exhale, right leg back down. Other side. Inhale, lift the left leg. Bend the knee, stack the hips. And exhale, left leg back down. Lower the hips in line with the shoulders coming into the top of a push-up. And we're just going to take it into a couple side planks here. So shift the body weight into the left arm, reach the right fingertips toward the sky. We're not going to stay here for very long. Really press into the earth with that left hand, lift with the hips, exhale back to a high plank, other side. Inhale into a side plank, press the right hand into the earth, lift with the hips. And the way you do that is by pressing into the feet and the hands, even a little bit more. Exhale back to a high plank. We're going to flow from plank to downward facing dog. So inhale here at the top, exhale into downward facing dog. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale to downward facing dog. And you can make this just a little bit easier by when you take it forward to plank, lower the knees to the earth. Just a little bit of a break. Exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right, let's walk our hands back to meet our feet and step the feet pretty wide as you do. So we're going to lower into a squat just to take some of the body weight off the shoulders, maybe shake the arms out a little bit. And maybe rock the body weight back and forth from right foot to left foot. You do want to have the heels on the earth. And so widen your stance enough that your heels can stay down. Hook the elbows inside the knees. Bring the palms together. And then as you inhale, breathe into the belly, and as you exhale, intentionally press the knees out to the side, breathing into the inner thighs, the hips here. Check in with your stance. Anytime you're in a squat, you want to work to build mobility and flexibility in the upper back so that you can bring the shoulders up over the hips, right? Because this is ultimately a functional shape in the sense that anytime you want to introduce load to a squat, the more upright you can get your chest, the more upright you can get your torso with the shoulders over hips, the more strong and stable that movement is going to be. So if, for example, you needed to pick something off the ground that is particularly heavy. All right, walk the hands to the earth, walk it back out to plank, and take it back to downward facing dog. Couple more leg lifts. Inhale, lift the right leg, bend the knee, stack the hips. Maybe take a couple little knee circles here. And take it back to downward facing dog. Other side. Inhale, lift the left leg, bend the knee, stack the hips. And back to downward facing dog. Lower the hips in line with the shoulders, top of a push-up. Okay, we're going to lower with a lot of control, and we're even going to pause halfway through. So I want you to lower to chaturanga so that your elbows are in line with your shoulders, and hover here for a moment. So your chest isn't touching the earth, your thighs aren't touching the earth. Press back up to the top of a push-up. So a little bit of tricep work here. Lower the shoulders in line with the elbows again. Fire up the core. Press back up to the top of a push-up. All right, now we're going to lower all the way to the mat. Exhale, lower all the way down. Nice job. Okay, so uncurl the toes. Have the hands beneath the shoulders, and on the inhale, cobra. Gaze is forward, neck is long. Exhale, chin back down. We're going to do 3 of these. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, chin back down. Inhale, cobra. Then exhale, take it back to downward facing dog. Pedal the feet again, right, left, right, left. All right, now glance up at the hands and walk your feet forward to meet your hands. Coming into a forward fold at the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Lengthen the crown of the head forward. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale to stand, sweep the arms toward the sky. Nice, deep breath. Exhale, pull that breath to heart center. All right, we're going to take it through a couple. We're going to do 3 full sun salutations from the top, not going to be adding anything fancy. And so if you know a sun salutation and you have that memorized, this is a great opportunity to just cut it loose and ignore me and follow your breath from beginning to end. That brings you right back to the beginning. So 3 full sun salutations. If you don't have a sun salutation memorized, I will talk us through it, each breath to movement. But this is a pretty standard sequence. And so those of you who've been coming to yoga with me for a while, you might recognize the movement pattern. And this is also worth memorizing for yourself, the sun salutation. All right, so at the top of the mat, feet together. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the crown of the head forward. Exhale, hands to the earth, step it back to plank, take it through a flow. So lower either all the way or to chaturanga. Inhale for cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 2 long, slow, complete breaths in downward facing dog. At the end of that second exhale, glance up at the hands, walk, step, or float your feet to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to stand, sweep the arms. Exhale, pull that breath to heart center. Another, inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the earth, take it through a flow. Two breaths. At the end of that exhale, walk, step, or float your feet to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to stand. Exhale, right back where we started. One more sun salutation. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 2 long, slow breaths. At the end of that exhale, walk, step, or float your feet, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to stand. Exhale, pull that breath to heart center. Nice. So just release the hands down by your sides and just for a moment, just allow your breath to naturally flow through your body from inhale to exhale. So we're not connecting it to the movements anymore. We're just letting it equalize, letting it perhaps slow down a little bit. When you connect breath to movement, it by definition disciplines and lengthens the breath. And that turns your yoga movements into a little bit of a cardio challenge too, because you're not able to just breathe whenever you want to. And in some ways, those of you who are swimmers, who have ever been into a swimming practice, it's very similar in the sense that when you breathe, you only have a certain amount of time to breathe and you only have certain opportunities to breathe. And so it's really great breath practice, breath discipline to build both efficiency in your oxygen usage, build your lung capacity, all of that. All right, so here at the top of the mat, we're going to take a couple side stretches. So inhale, bring the arms overhead. And on the exhale, plant the right hand on the right hip, reach up and over to the right side. Counterbalance and stretch into it. So lean with the left hip. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, up and over to the left. So let your right hip lean out to the right. Nice long side stretch. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, up and over to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, up and over to the left. Inhale, back to center. And then we'll get some rotations. So exhale, drop the arms in line with your shoulders and turn to the right. Maybe even turn your gaze toward the back of the room. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, turn to the left. Same thing. Maybe even shift your gaze toward the back of the room. So lead your arms and your shoulders will follow. Inhale, back to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale to the left. And inhale back to center. Release the arms down by your sides. Interlace the hands behind the back and step your feet about mat distance apart. Roll the shoulder blades together behind the back. And on the exhale, hinge forward and down over the legs. So just get a little stretch across the front of the shoulders. Maybe take a soft bend in the knees here, right? Because this isn't so much about the hamstrings. This is more about opening up the shoulders. And so you might take some organic movement here. Oh, nice. Dusty's demonstrating using a strap. So if you can't grasp your palms toward one another behind your back, grabbing hold of a strap or a dog leash or a belt or a laptop charger cable, anything that can increase the distance between your hands and enable you to come into this stretch is a good choice. All right, go ahead and unclasp the hands, come back up to standing, step your feet together. All right, we're going to take it through sun salutation B, which is a slightly more complicated sequence than the first sun salutation. I'll talk us through all of the poses here. So step the feet together, toes, heels touch. Inhale for chair pose. Bring the arms overhead, knees together. Settle the hips down and back like you're trying to sit down in a chair that you just can't quite get to. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the earth, step it back to plank, take it through a flow. And by the way, if you are up for the challenge or used to doing this, I step back to plank. But for those of you who like to jump back and land in chaturanga, that is also a great option. Inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, step it through next to the right thumb. Spin the back heel down and create some space from right foot to left foot. The idea here is that it's like your feet are on train tracks. And inhale, bring the arms overhead. So the front knee is over the front ankle, back leg is straight. Keep drawing that left hip forward though. So a little bit of stretch in the hip flexor, gaze is forward, neck is long. Take an inhale. Exhale, hands to the earth, step it back to plank, take it through a flow. All right, same thing on the other side. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, step it through next to the left thumb. Spin the back heel down. Warrior one. stay for a full round of breath here. Really root into the earth, even through the pinky toes of your feet. One more inhale. Exhale, hands to the earth. Take it through a flow. And by the way, if you ever want to add push-ups to your flow, so if taking just chaturanga is not quite challenging enough and you want to build a little bit of strength in your arms, add a couple push-ups in there. Just sprinkle them around. All right, glance up at the hands. Walk, step, or float your feet to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Chair pose on the inhale. Gaze goes up. Really active in the upper back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, hands to heart center. Nice job. All right, we're going to take it through a couple warrior poses. So a dancing warrior flow from the top of the mat. Here we go. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the earth. Take it through a flow. Right side, inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, step it through next to the right thumb. On the inhale, rise to crescent lunge. So the back heel is lifted. Soft bend in the back knee. Arms are overhead, elbows are straight, palms facing each other. Really straighten out the elbows. Even though I can't see you, I know someone is probably standing with really bent elbows. So make your arms nice and straight. No goalposts here. Take an inhale. And exhale, spin the back heel down. Arms are in line with the shoulders, warrior two. Glance down at your feet. Your front heel should be in line with the arch of the back foot. Flip the right palm up, inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reverse warrior, gaze goes up. Inhale, warrior two. Side angle on the exhale. So your right elbow might find the knee for this first one, or if you're feeling particularly flexy, you might soften the right hand down toward the earth, just inside of the right big toe, or you might split the difference and put your hand on a block. Up to you. Take one more inhale. And on the exhale, circle the left hand to the earth, step it back to plank, take it through a flow. Left side, inhale, up the left leg. Exhale, step it through. Crescent lunge on the inhale, find your balance. Elbows are straight, palms facing each other. Really feel that stretch back there in the right hip flexor. So tuck the tailbone under. One more inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Arms are in line with shoulders. That front knee is leading in the direction of the toes. Flip the left palm up. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reverse warrior. Gaze goes up. Inhale, back to warrior two. Side angle on the exhale. Still keep that knee bend in the front knee. So you're still doing the same thing with the legs as you were in warrior two and reverse warrior, but this time you've tipped your torso down and the arms are vertical, perpendicular with the earth. Take an inhale. Exhale, circle the hand to the earth, step it back to plank, take it through a flow. All right, we're gonna add, actually, we'll take it back to the top of the mat just to finish it out nicely. So glance up at the hands, walk, step, or float your feet to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to stand, sweep the arms. Exhale, pull that breath to heart center. Okay, so now we're gonna add a little bit to that same sequence. We're gonna add a revolved side angle and a side plank. I'll talk us through all of it. And we're gonna move pretty fast, connecting breath to movement. So one of the things that can make your practice more challenging is to move through it faster. So when you connect one breath per movement, then like we were talking about, you're disciplining the breath, but just by definition of moving faster, you're gonna build more heat and build more sweat. All right, so here we go. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the earth, take it through a flow. Remember, the flows are optional. Right side, inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, step it through. Crescent lunge on the inhale. Warrior two on the exhale. Put the right palm up, reach. Reverse warrior exhale. Warrior two on the inhale. Side angle on the exhale. Stay for the inhale. Exhale, circle the left hand to the earth, lift the back heel. Inhale, revolve, side angle. And stay here for a couple rounds of breath. Really lean into that right outer hip stretch or left hip flexor stretch, depending on what is more tight today. All right, and we're gonna step this back to a side plank. So if your shoulder, if you know that your left shoulder would not like to be in a side plank right now, what you're gonna do is lower your back knee to the earth. You're gonna step it back to a modified side plank. But if your left shoulder is feeling pretty good, press it into the earth and step it back to a side plank. And stabilize here for a couple breaths. I know that side planks are uncomfortable because we tend to shake, but shaking means we're getting stronger. So take one more inhale. And on the exhale, circle it back to a high plank. Take it through a flow or skip it. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. All right, same sequence on the left side. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, step it through next to the left thumb. Crescent lunge on the inhale. Warrior two on the exhale. Put the left palm up. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reverse warrior, gaze goes up. Inhale, warrior two. Side angle on the exhale. Stay for the inhale. Circle the right hand to the earth, lift the back heel. Inhale, reach the left fingertips for the sky. And relax into this for a full round of breath. All right, so we're gonna do the same step back to side plank. Glance down at your right hand. Make sure it's beneath the right shoulder and maybe step it back to a side plank. Really lift with the hips. Like our first set of side plank, the more you press into the earth with your hand and your feet, the more you're going to create tension down the whole length of the body, the whole skeletal system. Take an inhale. And on the exhale, circle it back to a high plank, back to center. Optional flow, or we'll all meet in downward facing dog. Or you can take child's pose for a couple breaths. Remember, this is a personal practice. I'm just here making suggestions. And so it is up to you what you do and don't do based on what's going on with your body. I do not know how you're feeling today, but you do. All right, glance up at the hands, walk, step, or float your feet to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to stand, sweep the arms. Exhale, pull that breath to heart center. All right, we're gonna get into half moon. We're gonna kind of workshop it a little bit more slowly in the beginning, and then we're gonna add half moon to a flow. So inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the earth. Take it through a flow or skip it. All right, inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, step it through next to the right thumb. Start by just spinning the back heel down. So we're going to take it right into warrior two, arms overhead. Okay, so it is helpful if you have a block. So if you can locate a block or a hardcover book is also, I have one. A hardcover book actually helps here too. Because it is important that you have something between your hand and the earth. If your hand can reach the earth, then you don't need something, but most people's hands don't reach the earth. All right, and so have that book or block somewhere out in front of your right foot. And you've got your stance here, your warrior two stance. I like to float my left hand down onto my left hip, just so it's out of the way. And then what you're going to do is, with control, but also a little bit of momentum, shift the body weight forward onto that right leg. And the front toes and the knee are pointing straight in the direction that your spine is pointing. So everything's lined up here. You don't want to twist the foot because that'll translate to twisting the hip too. All right, so this is where the block comes in. Sorry, I fell out of it. You stay into it. This is where the block comes in. You've got your hand on the block or your book, or like I said, if your hand somehow reaches the floor, then you've got it. Your hand is on the floor, you're good. But don't have it floating in space. And now add the left hand. So reach the left fingertips toward the sky. So the arms are perpendicular with the floor. Now with the floating leg, flex the foot, straighten up the leg as though you could stand on the back wall. Your gaze is on the earth. Take an inhale. And then we're going to slowly come out of it the way we came into it. Soften the front knee and float back to warrior two. Nice job. Take an inhale and exhale. Circle the hands to the earth. Step it back to plank. Take it right into a flow. All right, left side. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, step it through next to the left thumb, spin the back heel down. So same sort of setup. Front toes, front knee, pointing in the same direction. Arms are in line with the shoulders. You've got your book or your block in front of your toes. And so float the right hand to the hip. And again, with control, but also momentum. Shift the body weight forward onto that left standing leg. Straighten up the knee as soon as you possibly can, because that standing leg should be straight and strong. So activate the quadriceps, pull up on the kneecap. That right leg is straight, foot is flexed as though you could stand on the back wall. And then when you're ready, add the right hand. Again, because this is a balancing pose, it helps if you pick a point that's not moving that you can look at. Remember to breathe. And notice how the moment you get distracted or the moment you shift your gaze to something else, you tend to fall out of it. So focus. Focus your gaze, focus your thoughts. Take an inhale. And then with control, come out of it the way you came into it. Rebend the standing leg, float it back to warrior two. Take an inhale. Exhale, circle the hands to the earth, step it back to a plank and take it through a flow. Glance up at the hands, walk, step, or float your feet to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to stand, sweep the arms. Exhale, pull that breath to heart center. Okay, so what we're going to do in the next flow is each side is going to include 3 rounds of half moon. Because I have learned through practicing and observing people practicing half moon that the longer you hold it, the less fun it is, but it is worth practicing because it's a balancing pose, there's alignment, there's a lot of things that are worth practicing, but it's not fun to just hold it for a minute straight. And so we're topping that up, and we're going to go back and forth from half moon to warrior two 3 times, because this is your chance to practice that transition and your chance to maybe get a little bit more stable with the balance aspect of it. All right, and so we're not going to hold it for very long. Just 1 round of breath, getting into it, and then getting back out of it. All right, so don't get too wrapped up in, oh, like these are all so important. They're not important, right? It's just a pose, it's just practice. right? And it's just an opportunity to maybe improve a little bit at something. Okay, so from the top of the mat, inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the earth, step it back to plank, take it through a flow. Inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, step it through next to the right thumb, spin the back heel down. Inhale, warrior two. And just for fun, let's take it back to a reverse warrior. So flip the right palm up, inhale. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, back to warrior two. And this is the part where you get to try floating it forward into a half moon. Just stay for one full round of breath. We're not establishing this pose forever and ever. On the next inhale, fire up the core and slowly float it back to a warrior two. Nice job. Put the right palm up, inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reverse warrior. Nice. Inhale back to warrior two. Second half moon, second attempt. Shift your body weight onto that standing leg. Straighten up both legs, flex the back foot, fire up the core, inhale. And with control, float it back to warrior two. Flip the right palm up, inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reverse warrior. We're just taking these reverse warriors as a little bit of a break in between. Inhale, warrior two. And last half moon, shift the body weight onto that standing leg. Find that point that's not moving at all that you can look at. Both legs are straight. Take an inhale. And with control, float it back to warrior two. Nice job. Take one more inhale. And this time, circle the hands to the earth. And take it through a vinyasa or a well-deserved child's pose. 2 long, slow breaths. All right, left leg. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, step it through. Spin the back heel down. Inhale for warrior two. All right, flip the left palm up. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reverse warrior. We're doing the same sequence on this side so you know what's coming. Inhale, warrior two. Shift into half moon. Nice and controlled. 1 round of breath. Don't hold your breath. Still breathe. On the next inhale, come out of it with control, rebending the standing leg. Warrior two. Flip the left palm up. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Half moon. Stay for a round of breath. And slowly take it back to warrior two. Nice job. Flip the left palm up. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, warrior two. Preparing for half moon number 3. Shift the body weight onto that standing leg. Work your way into the balance. Flex the foot. Straighten up both legs. Check back in with each joint, stacking the shoulders, stacking the hips. Take it back to warrior two. Flip the left palm up. Inhale, reach forward. Oh, you got a bonus reverse warrior. Sorry about that. Exhale, circle the hands to the earth. Step it back to plank. Take it through a flow. Really nice job. All right, lower the knees to the earth. And all that flowing, go ahead and curl the back toes under and shift some body weight back onto the heels. And if it's really comfortable, you might take it all the way back to a kneeling pose with the toes curled under. Because if you're anything like me, all that shifting from half moon to warrior two and back into half moon really kind of lit up the arches of my feet. So this feels really nice to give them a little stretch. All right, come on back out of it, back to tabletop. We're going to take a little twist for the upper back. So pick up the right hand. Inhale, reach the right fingertips to the sky. And on the exhale, reach your arm under and through toward your neighbor to the left or toward the left wall. And then settle your ear, the side of your face down on the earth, and then you might walk your left fingertips forward toward the front edge of the mat. And then slowly press back up out of it, back to tabletop. And before we just go back into it on the other side, we're going to take a little neutralizing twist for the upper back. So plant the hands pretty wide on the mat, about mat width apart. Bend the elbows so that they're directly over the wrist. And just start to drop one shoulder then the other. A nice neutralizing rotation for the upper back. Also get a little bonus stretch for the fronts of the shoulders. All right, back to tabletop. Pick up the left arm, inhale to reach toward the sky, and on the exhale, reach it under and through toward the right. Settle the ear, the side of the face down on the earth, and then maybe walk the right hands, right fingertips forward toward the front of the mat. And then slowly walk the hands back up to tabletop. And one more time, let's take that upper back twist. So plant the hands pretty wide on the mat, bend the elbows, and just drop one shoulder then the other. This is also a great opportunity to bring the hands back beneath the shoulders and take it through a couple more rounds of cat-cow. Maybe it's a really mindful cat-cow that's more like a wave, that chain reaction all the way up the spine. All right, so from tabletop, pick up the right left foot and just step it forward outside of the right pinky. Okay, so you could hang out here. This might be a really nice lunge stretch for you, and you might increase the distance between your foot and your back knee until you bring it into a stretch that works for you today. We did do a fair amount of hip work today, and it is nice and warm. So if you feel like your body is warm enough to take Pigeon, then Pigeon is walking. You would walk the right foot over to the left hand, and then lay your right knee down so that your shin is moving toward parallel with the top of the mat. It doesn't necessarily need to be parallel with the top of the mat, and depending on your flexibility, that might be not recommended for your knee, because ultimately, if you feel the stretch in your knee, change the angle of your shin in relation to your body. This is not about your knee. There aren't any stretches for your knee because your knee isn't something that needs stretching. It's more the muscles of your outer hip. It might also be about your left hip flexor, right? And so pigeon pose is one of those stretches that you can move into mindfully. You might be able to move a little bit deeper into it the longer that you're here. You might walk your hands forward. You might bring your forearms down. You might bring your head down onto the earth. What's most important about any stretch, any long hold stretch, is that you are always able to breathe evenly and naturally and completely. If you find that you're holding your breath, gritting your teeth, or gripping all sorts of muscles in your body and you're just white knuckling it through to the end, that is not the purpose of your yoga practice. That is not the purpose of a stretch, right? These stretches are meant to take tension out of the body, not put tension into it. If you really love doing king pigeon, this is also a great time to do that since we're already here. This is optional. You would bend, you could prop back up onto the hands, bend the back knee, and then as you hook that foot into the elbow, pulling that stretch into the left hip flexor. Also kind of fun to find that bind around and behind the neck. Nice little chest opener here for you. So you might hang out there for a few more breaths. Again, most important that you can breathe. All right, we're going to come into this on the other side. So curl the back toes under, lift the body weight up off that front leg and sweep it back to a three-legged dog. Take a couple little hip circles here. Shake out the leg, shake out the knee. And then we're going to just get right into the other side the way we came into it. So lower the knees back to tabletop. Pick up the left foot, step it forward outside the left pinky. So this might be the lunge, the stretch that you did on the other side, in which case do this same thing on this side. And so you might lower a little bit deeper into the lunge, kind of explore it. And if you took pigeon on the other side, and that would feel really nice for you today, then let's do the same thing. So you'll heel toe that foot off to the right, lower the knee down toward the earth, and adjust your way into it. So you can find a little bit more of a stretch, a little bit more comfort for the knee joint, because again, like I said, on the other side, that's important, by widening the knee in relation to your body. You might bring it out to the side. You might bring it more in front of your belly, right? You can access different parts of the hip and also change the sensation in your knee, in your joints, as a result of where you position them. All right. Pay particular attention to the exhales. All right, and if you did so on the other side, and you want to add or try adding king pigeon, you might try it on this side too. So bend the back knee, hook the foot into your back elbow, and maybe find that bind behind the back of the head. Whew. Remember to breathe. All right, let's slowly press the palms into the earth, curl the back toes under, lift the body weight off the front leg, then take it back to a three-legged dog. Some hip circles here, some knee circles. Maybe you shake the leg out. All right, let's lower the knees to the earth, bring the legs around in front of you. And just one last time, hug the knees to the chest, gently roll side to side, massaging the muscles along the spine. Take some intentionally long, full breaths here, preparing the body for Shavasana, your final resting pose, the one where you get to be totally still and just let your body naturally breathe. Okay, so go ahead and release the legs toward the earth, release the arms. And by the way, I know I said this before, but any resting pose that is comfortable for you is okay with me. So if you want to have the legs straight, want to have them bent, want to take a reclined butterfly, if you want to do a side Shavasana, a belly Shavasana, or if you want to even just take this last pose seated, whatever would feel really nice for you today is exactly what you should be doing. Shavasana. And slowly begin to reawaken the body. Wiggle the fingers, the toes, roll out the wrists, the ankles. Reach the arms overhead toward the back. Point the toes toward the front. Take a deep breath and a full body stretch from fingers to toes and everything in between. And on the exhale, roll over to one side. And then when you're ready, slowly press the floor away. Make your way back up to a comfortable seated position. Close your eyes when you get there. Lightly rest your hands on your knees. And once more in stillness, bring your awareness to your body, to your breath. Experiencing for this closing moment a sense of gratitude for your ability to move, to breathe, to take this time. And on the next inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, pull that breath to heart center. Thank you for allowing me to guide you through your practice. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.